Halloween, a time of evil, a time of horror, a time of wicked acts and sacrilege, a time of demons, a time of devils. The Omen has one of the most powerful and terrifying themes of all time, singing in a demonic Latin choir about blood, about flesh, about the rise of that spirit known as Antichrist, about the worship of Satan, about the love of all that is evil. And it's awful!
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Now, I'm not talking about the orchestration or the singing. Those are fine. I'm talking about the lyrics. Long story short, the Latin used in this song is absolutely atrocious.
Would you like to know more?
Latin is what is called an inflected language. Now, what that means is that sentence structure is not what creates meaning in the sentence. Take, for example, the sentence, "The cat ate the rat." And now I ask, who did the eating? Well, you'd say the cat, because the cat is what comes first in the sentence. This is because English is a non-inflected language. If you ask the question Latin, you don't know. It could be the cat or the rat doing the eating. You have no idea. This is because rather than sentence structure, a series of word endings is what gives meaning to the sentence. So if you say, the cat is the one eating, you would say catus, as opposed to something else, like catum, for example. Or I guess you could use fetus if you want. And if you wanted to say that the rat is the one being eaten, you would say ratum, as opposed to ratus. So the sentence becomes catus consumavit ratum. And the thing is, since you have the word endings, you could have the sentence read ratum consumavit catus, and it would mean the same thing. In fact, a real Latin sentence would look more like catus ratum consumavit. The point being that these word endings are essential to the way in which Latin functions as a language, and students have to learn these endings in order to speak properly. They are not optional. They are core to the language, and if you ignore them, your sentence makes no sense. So you can imagine my shock when I listen to the Omen theme, and the song ignores them, and the sentences make no sense! So, bibimus does indeed mean drink, but who's drinking? Well, we can tell based on the word ending, even if we don't have a subject, just like Spanish. Here it says bibimus, and so the subject is we. Except no it isn't, because sanguis is in the nominative! That means it takes the subject marker in the sentence. So the proper translation would be, we, the blood, drink. Drink what? I have no idea. Same thing with corpus, by the way. It should say corpum, because corpus is the subject. Except, wait, no. Corpus is apparently an exception where the subject and the direct object take the same word ending.
You got lucky.
This is mostly okay. Tole is in the imperative. Awe means praise. Corpus.
You got lucky.
Then there's satani, which unfortunately is not a word. The word is satanas, which in this case, since you're saying the corpse of Satan, would mean you're using the genitive, which in this case would be satanai. There is a Satanis, but that has an S at the end and not only represents the indirect object, but it's also plural! This isn't the only time when the song doesn't know how to refer to Satan either. Later on they say, except that's not how you say Antichrist. That says hail against Christ. If you wanted to say Antichrist, all you had to do was look up the Latin Vulgate. Not exactly a difficult book to find! And it says, Et omni spiritus qui solvit Iesum ex Deo non est, et hic est Antichristus. I don't get this. It's literally Antichrist. How do you mess that up? So yeah, the song uses a grand total of 50 words and 23 are mistakes. Heck, there are only 9 words that are repeated over and over again. And of that 9, 4 of them are used wrong. So depending on how you look at it, the song is either 64 or 55% correct. If you really wanted to write this song correctly, the lyrics would be M Nai Antichristus. Are you speaking Latin yet?